Hello everyone. So in this video, we will discuss an introduction to your ethics. When we talk of ethics, it can be the definition of ethics can be traced back to the Greek word ethos, which means customs or behaviors. When we talk of behaviors, this is something more attributed to your own human behavior, hence being an inherent aspect of your being human. Now, the term ethos has an equivalent meaning in Latin, which means Latin word moris, which means morals. Okay, so this talks about when you talk of ethics. Therefore, we talk about your morals, or a science or a discipline which determines the rightness or wrongness of your action. We must understand that ethics is nothing to do about a specific nation, because as we have discussed earlier, ethics is focused more on the behavior of human beings. No? being inherent being an inherent human characteristic. Therefore, ethics is a mental disposition or a mental set or a set of values for you to observe. As a science, it deals with the morality, the rightness or wrongness of your actions, of human acts. No? Something that is done voluntarily and not involuntarily. When we talk of ethics, it involves as a discipline, it is meant for the exercise of human conduct, both ethical and unethical, and as a philosophical study that guides the intellect of people in discerning concrete human conduct. Now, ethics is important because every society has its uh, uh, has its own set of values, or has set of values that is weaved into their moral fabric. No, it is important because the society shapes the individual's behaviors within the society. Ethics also act as a self-governing system to keep human self-interest in check, no, and whether it is aligned with the good of the society, and that equilibrium, because the eyes of the law are not always available. And also, ethics is important because if there's no ethics at all, society might fall into chaos. If we just accept, no, that each of us could pick and choose what the right thing to do is. So ethics is a guiding stick, no, whether what is right or what is wrong. So here are some fundamental concepts that we need to understand in ethics. Now, the main subject of ethics, no, of ethical examination, of ethical analysis, will always be your human actions or human act. When we say human act, these are conscious and free exercise or free actions that you do, no, based on your capacity or faculties. So therefore, human acts are considered conscious and free. Now, on the other hand, there are what you call as acts of man, which is something that is beyond your control, no, beyond your will. Meaning these are involuntary actions that you do, no, that's occurring rather, no, that's occurring. Morality or ethics is more concerned with human actions rather than those involuntary ones. Now, if we examine human actions, we must look into its constituents. A human act is constituted by these three elements. First is your knowledge, no? The knowledge or kaalaman or that which resides in the intellect and is the mindfulness of what you as a moral agent is doing. When we talk of freedom, this is about this talks about your kalayaan, no, or the quality of the free will to which you are able to choose between one or more alternatives. And voluntariness or kakayahan refers to the quality of your actions whereby commission or omission of an act is a result of your knowledge, which you had at an end. Okay? So your human actions can be identified by these three major constituents. Firstly, your kaalaman or knowledge, no? Kalayaan or freedom, or kakayahan or voluntariness. Okay? Now, there are different determinants of morality as well. No? Now, these determinants of morality will aid you whether an action is immoral or not, or moral. Now, the first determinant of morality is what you call your object of the act. No? When we say object of the act, what is the action being done? You look at the very substance of the action. You try to answer the question, what was performed by the agent? The second determinant of morality is what you call your motive of the agent. No? Motive of the agent pertains to the purpose for which the human agent does the action. Kung bakit niya ginawa yung isang act na iyon. Specifically, you answer, what does the agent want? No? And also, when we say sources or when we say another determinant of morality, we also look at the circumstances. When we say circumstances, these are the surrounding events, no, that led to the actuation of a certain action. Kung bakit nangyari ang isang action. So, when you try to define the circumstances, you try to answer the questions what, no, or what the intended object of the act, what's the intended object of the act. You try to explain the why, no. You also answer the question by what means and how the action was done. You try to also answer the question when, kailan ginawa, and where, and who the person who does the action or who the person received the action. There are two standard norms of morality or norm of morality. An objective one and a subjective one. The objective norm of morality is what you call your law, or the basis of it is your law. And a good definition is provided to us by St. Thomas Aquinas that a law should be an ordinance of reason promulgated by a duly constituted authority for the common good of the society. If you will look into this definition, there are four main components, no, that we need to understand in this definition. When we say ordinance, when we say a law, this should be an ordinance. Now, when we say ordinance, this is a regulation that is rooted into the second component, which is reason. So, ibig sabihin, dapat ang ating regulation should be reasonable. No? Makatwiran. Dahil para ito sa mas madaling pagpapaunawa ng regulation. The next component is promulgated. When we say promulgated, dapat ipinatutupad consistently, no, by a duly constituted authority, meaning by a government, no, by a governing body. Okay? And lastly, your laws should be always aimed for the common good of the society. However, in our times, no, in our modern times, our laws sometimes is not aimed, no, are not aimed for the common good of society. No, sometimes there are laws that only benefit the rich people, only a specific group of people. In that case, no, that law is flawed, no, because it cannot be considered as a law if it's not for the benefit of the common good or for the common good of the society. Now, the law is necessary for us to regulate our actions and free will. Sabi nga natin kanina, if there are no laws, if there are no ethics, no, our society will be in chaos because all of us will exercise only what is right for us, no? Magkakaiba-iba 'yon. And we will only do our preference. At magkaiba-iba yun. At kung ang tendency ay iba-iba, there will be chaos in our society. Okay? Now, laws can be classified into several types or several kinds. It can be a natural law, it can be a divine law, or it can be a human positive law. When we say natural law, this is a law that is observable in nature. No? How the trees grow, no? How you are born, how there are two different sexes, etc. No? Now, the order of nature is the natural law. And this has big implication in the healthcare of your patients. No? This has great implication in the care of your patients because our practice is rooted in preserving the natural state of our patient. So therefore, natural law has a big implication in our practice. Not only in nursing, but also in the medical profession as well. When we talk of divine law, this is a natural law that is subscribed to a particular religion. No? For Catholics, divine law are the Ten Commandments, etc. No? For the Muslims, meron din silang sariling set of beliefs, set of divine laws, and as well as other religions. Human positive laws are laws created by man, no, to guide positive behavior among people. So kung mga may batas tayo na that directs us to do good, that directs us that this has to be followed, then that is a human positive law. The most observable of them all is yung human positive law. No? Kasi madali yang makita. Mag-search ka sa internet ng batas about a certain action, makikita mo sa internet. So that's a human positive. The human positive law is the most observable one, yung madaling makita. Okay? So sabi ko nga kanina, natural law is a system of law that is purportedly determined by nature and thus can be applied universally. This pertains to the pattern of behavior of animals, no, plants, or minerals, no, follow such actions or movements in accordance to the will, no, of a divine mind. No? According to Panizo in 1964, sabi niya, our universe is composed of an infinite variety of beautifully arranged things. No? Indeed, nature shows that a constant order, which is the result of a universal plan and of immutable laws. So this natural law is observable in how nature works. Okay? Sabi natin kanina, this has implication in healthcare. No? Let's take, for example, your abortion. If we deem abortion, if we examine abortion in light of natural law, abortion is actually a violation of the natural law, hence unethical. Bakit? Because you prevent the natural growth, no, of a fetus until delivery. You halt the life itself. That's why, in terms of natural law, no, in terms of natural law, abortion is immoral. But then there are some cases that would say that abortion is legal. No? If there are, for example, the classic case of Roe versus Wade, where they gave permission to an abortion case in the U.S. No, because of the fact that we need to secure the autonomy of a woman to have a right over her body. Again, if we talk of healthcare ethics, and that will be for next year, you will learn that there's a hierarchy, no, of the principles of ethics, no. But for now, for the sake of discussing the natural law, we can say, or if we look into it, we can say that abortion is unnatural and therefore immoral. The next standard of morality, or the next norm of morality is what you call your conscience, no? O yung inyong konsensya. which is the practical judgment that determines your action or an action to be good, therefore to be done, or evil, or that must be avoided. Now, this is considered subjective because it is born out of the mental process that you have. No? Now, your conscience is developed by the following factors, no? By following the law. Okay, it can be influenced by your cultural beliefs. It can be developed by your feelings, no? Religious beliefs, lahat 'yon. Okay? Influence the development of your conscience. Okay? Kung papaano kayo pinalaki, that also has a bearing on how you have your conscience. Okay? So since napag-usapan natin ang conscience, we will talk about the stages of moral development, no? The stages of moral development was proposed by Lawrence Kohlberg, no? Hence tinawag na Kohlberg stages of moral development. That consists of 3 stages of moral development, no? May tinatawag tayong pre-conventional stage, ang sumunod ay yung conventional stage, and yung sumunod ay yung post-conventional morality. Okay, so let's talk about the pre-conventional stage. Now, the pre-conventional stage, it includes the judgment of morality based on the direct consequences of your action. Usually, this is exhibited by children, no? But not all. So, hindi naman nangangahulugan na minsan na kahit na lumaki na yung tao, no, nag-i-exhibit na siya ng conventional stage morality, no, or post-conventional morality. Sometimes may iba na hindi nagde-develop ang kanilang morality, no? Nagbe-base pa rin sa direct consequences ng kanilang pagdetermine sa tama o mali. So in pre-conventional stage, there are 2 stages involved, no? First is stage 1 morality, which is about obedience versus punishment. So an action, according to this stage, an action is perceived as wrong because the perpetrator is punished. So a child determines an action is wrong because may nakita siya na naparusahan by doing that action. Okay? Now, in pre-conventional stage, it also involves stage 2, no? Morality, no? Pre-conventional morality, which is about self-interest, which is a self-interest-driven stage. Okay? So, aalamin, that ang isang bata, he or she will determine that this action is correct if there's something that will benefit him. Okay? That is self-interest-driven morality. A main component for pre-conventional stage is egocentricity, no? Parang nagre-revolve sa kanya lang ang mundo, which is typical or natural, no, sa stage ng mga bata. It's about themselves. Okay? But if the child grows up and manages to develop his morality, he may advance to conventional stage, no? Usually common among adolescents, no? Where they judge morality based on societal views and expectations. Stage 3 morality under conventional stage would involve good intentions as determined by social consensus. Be living up, no? Kumbaga, living up to expectations by being a good boy or a good girl. While stage 4 morality sets that there should be authority and social order, and that they see that it is important to obey rules, to uphold social order. Lastly, post-conventional stage talks about the principled level of morality. This is marked by a growing realization of individuals' perspective may differ from society. So, there are some principles that can be lived universally, especially in human rights. No? So, there's one, the stage 5 involves viewing the world as differing opinions, rights, and values. And in stage 6, universal ethical principles driven, which is based on abstract reasoning. Okay? It involves an individual imagining that they would do in another's shoes if they believe what that other person imagines to be true. With that, I end my lecture for this first module. So if you have any questions, you can always send me a message. And also, you are encouraged to discuss your thoughts in our Facebook group. With that, I wish you a happy week. Thank you.